Good morning and welcome. Patriot Radio News Hour. I'm Joe Jaquin, CEO of the Patriot Trading Group, and we are back in action here at the Hole in the Ceiling Studios in the beautiful, well, I don't know about that. All right, that's an exaggeration, but we're in the Deer Valley Air Park. Arizona is beautiful. Maybe not the air park, but it is absolutely gorgeous out. Your heart's got to go out, right? To all the people across the country, and it's not just Texas, but Texas is getting the highlights of it. Frozen to water pipes out there. Hopefully, they'll get the power back on. Rest in peace, Rush Limbaugh. Sad to see a guy. I mean, let's face it. If when you think talk radio, he's got to be the first guy that comes to mind, right? I mean, legend. He'll be missed. We'll try to do our best to fill in for him here at the Patriot Trading Group. Man, it is incredibly busy. We got a rally finally, finally rallying this morning. I will give you an update on anything that we have left from yesterday. I can tell you this: relatively, the cheap American Silver Eagles are gone. I don't know. I'll have an update at the break as to whether or not I have any more of the Arctic Fox. There was some Gold Eagles and some Krugerrands left. We'll get to that in a little bit. I hope you're all having a great day. One more day till Friday. We had jobless claims out today we got to talk about. We had some inflation numbers we got to talk about. We had a lot of things we got to talk about. Walmart had some negative things to say in their earnings today. So got a great show lined up for you. Don't forget those CBD products. And by the way, big shout out not only to you guys here in Arizona, but all over the country. Now I think there's 8 states total we can't sell them in, and the shopping cart won't even let you. If you're in one of those states and you tried to order and it's not letting you order, then you're probably in one of those states where they haven't caught up with the times yet. But the CBD products, and I know I've told you, it's wonderful. I like the tincture because I just put a dropper under my tongue every morning. I put it right near where my keys are. And then I'm a big, the lotion and the salve because, when you have, I've got certain areas. My left knee, it's no good. If I'm doing something like today, it's Thursday. So you guys know my schedule. I'm playing pickleball today. I'm going to take that lotion and I'm just going to coat that knee before I go out there. And things of that. Somebody yesterday, we're getting all kinds of great feedback too. You guys are really helping us here where they were saying they're taking the salve and they put it on their forehead and their face and it helps them with their anxiety. Of course, obviously, the medical community, they don't want to hear any part of that. It does not help you with Bill Gates and racist cows or anything like that. So, but go out to 1360khnc.com. Both offices, the Colorado office and the Phoenix office, we have products on hand there. You can buy them and pick them up there as well. And, of course, it all goes to a great cause, which is the radio station and keeping that conservative voice, keeping that message out there, and we appreciate it. You guys have been fantastic. Listen, I'll tell you, the product's fantastic. I mean, that's really makes it great. And shout out to the guys at My Kind, and I've told you guys, they're all Colorado. Everything that they do is in the state of Colorado. They grow it there, they process it there, all that stuff. And we talked about it's totally organic. There are no pesticides and chemicals. Everything we have is CAO certified. I won't even put it on the website because they've got a lot of products. But I won't put it on the website for you guys to buy it without the certificate, which all is that is it's a lab result, independently labbed, that basically says, hey, everything Joe just told you is true. There's no chemicals in there. There's no heavy metals, the solvents they use and all that stuff. A lot of these other places out there, you don't know what you're getting. This isn't the synthetic CBD or anything like that. So anyway, enough about that. Just keep ordering it. You're doing great. It's really helping the radio station, and we appreciate all that. When we get back, a disappointing day on Wall Street. The jobless claims data, I was actually surprised. It was not good. Walmart's earnings weren't good. And I guess that's more of a reflection of people ran out of money because this is going to be reflective, obviously, of the Christmas season. The regeneration of the stimulus didn't really hit until January. And then you're going to start hearing a lot of talk about the next round of stimulus. They're starting to run out of time. So remember that $900 billion that passed with Trump, that was only going to give you 13 weeks. So they only have about another 5 weeks left before everybody runs out of money again. So expect that to start happening very, very soon. And then we'll also talk about lumber. Man, new all-time record high on lumber today. Oh, it crossed $1,000 for 1,000 board feet of lumber. New record highs happening all over the place. But don't worry. There's no inflation out there. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back after the break. 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour. And I've got, here's what I've got. So just, again, I know that, everyone's looking at spot price, and I'm just going to tell you, it doesn't matter. Right? Wall Street can pretend whatever they want on anything, right? Look at all the stock prices, and of course the Federal Reserve. Oh, it's just transitory. We don't see asset bubbles, and of course they never see them, but we know they're there. This is what we got. So, U.S. Silver Eagles, I can get you them. I can. At $800 a roll. Yesterday we had some less expensive ones that I'd bought out of an estate. Those are gone. Yesterday we talked about the Krugerrands that I bought out of another estate. Right now we've got 6 Krugerrands left at $1,900. And I know, yep, they're foreign. It's not preferred. No doubt. I understand that. But you got gold up, $5-6 today. A $20 gold piece. You're looking at, $2,140. The 6 Krugerrands I got are $1,900. So, yeah, it's not ideal, but that's value, right? That's you're buying it solely for value, right? $1,900, okay, it's like I bought a 1-ounce bar, it's just value in saving, I can't argue when you're saving $240 on the ounce to say, okay, yeah, that may make sense right now. I wish I had 1,000 of them. I'd sell them all to you. Don't I? Got 6. The Gold Eagles. I've got 10 American Gold Eagles left. Again, this is all out of these estates, and tomorrow I will have another item that as we're still inventorying all the stuff out here. I've got 10 Gold Eagles, and again, these are the newer U.S. minted, but they're newer, right? 86 to the present. They're not 2021s, so don't worry about that. But they're at $1,950. And again, not our favorite coin, but good value. And you know me, I'm one of those guys. I like a bargain, right? And right now, this is a bargain. You're not getting. Nobody has this stuff, and if they do, they're way more expensive than we are. $1,950, and then Arctic Fox. These are the Canadian mint. Again, not necessarily ideal, but the next most popular minted coin behind U.S. minted material is the Canadian mint. Very popular. The Arctic Fox, the Canadian mint does great work. The Arctic Fox is just like it sounds. It's the tail side of the coin. It's a fox. These are 1.5 ounce coins. They come 15 coins in a roll. That means each roll has 22.5 ounces in it. I've got one case. One case, and the case has 25 rolls in it. Okay, so think about, $830 a roll. I've got one case of foxes for $20,750. That is the cheapest government hallmarked silver available. Now, it's not U.S. I get it. If you want to buy it by the roll, you can buy it by the roll. They're $830 a roll. If you want the whole case, $20,750. But that's all I have. I have those 25 rolls. That's it. And again, I was talking to our bullion bank earlier this week. And just to give you an idea of what's happening in the world, the Canadian mint's even farther behind than the U.S. mint. Think about this. It's February 18th. People that ordered Silver Eagles from me when I could still order them a month ago, still waiting. Matter of fact, well, we're down to, I think we got one last person left. And then at that point they had cut me off. So I've gone an entire month now that I haven't been able to even order a 2021 American Silver Eagle. The Canadian mint, from what I'm hearing, they're even in worse shape. But the Arctic Foxes, it's less expensive. And that's really, that's the whole, I guess if you want to call it the sales pitch. The Arctic Fox, at the price I have them at today, is even cheaper than the junk silver. So this is the cheapest silver I have today. So there you go. There's the big pitch. 800-951-0592. First-time jobless claims. We get it every Thursday. 861,000. About 100,000 more than they expected, but it got worse. They went back to last week's number. Remember, last week they said 793. They revised that up to 848,000. So the jobless claims number on a weekly basis continues to stay elevated. Think about this. In another, 2, maybe 3 weeks, I think 3 weeks, it'll be 1 year where we have every single week, 52 straight weeks, that would have broken the previous all-time record high, which was set, by the way, all the way back in 1981, and I think it had to do with the UAW striking back then. Just tells you, I don't even think if I don't even know if the UAW even has 800,000 employees anymore. Think about that. But in any event, that, by the way, that record was like 660,000. That lasted like a week. So then over the next 3 weeks, we'll go 52 straight weeks. And remember, they actually changed the methodology because they didn't like every week it was a million. And back in August, they changed the formula. And I think they probably had to because part of it was with COVID, businesses were totally shut down. So they changed the seasonal adjustment formula to get the lower numbers. But this is pretty elevated. I mean, this is right at the highs of the new number. So you go all the way back to August when you're talking about, 860,000. There's some 880s in there, maybe an 870, but this is at the high end. So not a great sign on jobless claims. Continuing claims, there's still over 18 million people when you factor in all the government programs that are getting the government checks. States with the biggest increases: Illinois, California. Well, now get ready, Texas. Boy, I don't know what happens in Texas. I'm imagining the offices are probably closed. And I don't know if you haven't been able to go to work in Texas for a week now, are you eligible for unemployment? I don't know how that's going to work. Well, we'll find out. Believe me, they'll tell us. But that was the number that came out today. That was the big number moving the market. Walmart. They had earnings today. And, of course, Walmart, one of the big winners of the, think about it, the lockdowns and the stimulus, one of the only places that got to stay open. And they just missed, flat out missed. They missed Wall Street expectations. They said e-commerce sales were up almost 70%. U.S. sales grew at 8%, but that wasn't enough. Shares were down. Fourth quarter related expenses to COVID, they said, was over $1 billion in U.S. same-store sales. In 2021, they're expecting an increase because of the stimulus checks. They're hoping, hey, with the $1.9 trillion stimulus they're talking about, they're expecting to have sales rebound better. They're also saying they're going to raise the minimum hourly wage to above $15 an hour. Now, we'll see how that works. Is that everywhere? Or is that, hey, Mississippi, we're giving you 11. New York, you get 17. And, California, you get 18. Arizona, you get 13. I don't know. And it's going to average over 15, but they're boosting pay. See, I don't know. We don't need a minimum wage bill. It will take care of itself. Let businesses handle it on their own. But nonetheless, Walmart said that they actually, what were they talking about? Other places not as strong, but revenues missed expectations as sales growth has been falling at Walmart. But we'll see with the stimulus checks. I think they'll be okay. Right? I'm not too worried. Walmart's going to be just fine. I'm pretty sure. I'm sure they're going to make it. Did you see Los Angeles? This is why no one's living in California anymore. Matter of fact, another friend of mine is moving here. And I flat out told them, this is how you got to vote here. And they're on board. Of course, they're friends of mine. Of course they are. But I told them I wanted to build a border wall between us and California. But listen to this. Los Angeles slashed the school police budget, okay, and replaced it with climate coaches. Yeah, you heard me. And again, let the brainwashing begin. Hey, I know we've got, can you imagine? Well, what happened to the cop that was here at the school? Oh, well, he got replaced. Oh, well, you guys went private security or maybe off-duty police officer. Maybe, I don't know. You added a few more teachers, something like that. Maybe a guidance counselor. No. We got a climate coach now. Yeah. I can imagine what that is. Right? What is he going to stand at the lunch line and get mad at the kids that have a hamburger that isn't made out of a 3D printer or in some lab? I don't know. But this is the world we live in, right? And amazing. I've never heard a climate coach for our kids. Because let's face it, this is why we send them to school, isn't it? Right? We send them to school to teach them how to be good liberals, right? We send them to school to let them know if they're white that they're absolutely racist and repressive, and we send them to school to let them know that climate change is it's not just natural, right? It's all your fault. And kill all the cows, and I'm sure the pigs and the chickens, you guys are on notice. Right? Cows, you're first. I can just imagine. Can you imagine? In the history annals, they'll come back and all the cows went extinct. The great cow extinction coming soon. Patriot Radio News Hour. Where's your climate coach? I need to talk to him. Walmart. Real quick, I was looking for this information. It is an average. They're going to average $15 an hour. So I was right. So don't get too excited, all you Walmart workers. If you live in a reasonably priced, probably red state, you're not going to $15 an hour. But right now, by the way, they already average more than 14, so it's not that exciting. But Walmart, by the way, they have 1.5 million workers in the United States. Just talking U.S. 1.5 million. A third of them are going to get some kind of a raise. Now, who knows? Is it 5 cents, 10 cents, 50 cents, a dollar? Don't know. But just tells you how lopsided it really is, and how many workers. And I would guess most of the third of these workers have been working there less than a year. That's just my guess. But here's what was really interesting in their earnings report. They announced that they're going to buy back another $20 billion of their own stock. So I just did some quick math. $20 billion, 1.5 million workers. That means all of them, even the guys that make the big bucks. They could buy back $20 billion of their own stock or give every employee a one-time $13,000 bonus. I mean, that's what we're talking about. I mean, this is where the problem lies, right? Does Walmart need to buy back their own stock? No. But again, who does that benefit? Of the 1.5 million employees that Walmart has, my guess is it probably benefits about less than 1,000 of them, right? The guys that get the stock options, the C-suite guys. It may even be less than 500 of them. Of course, Wall Street fat cats, they love it. And they're acting like, oh, we're such a great company. Look at us. We're going to average $15 an hour. And again, that would have been something 20 years ago. Right? $15 an hour 20 years ago, 30 years ago, that would have been great. I mean, remember the UAW workers in the 80s? They were making like $25 an hour. Right now we've got, oh, hey, look how nice and generous we're being by giving you an extra, 50 cents. And listen, they got to run their business how they run their business, but don't forget about all the laws that changed to allow Walmart to be who they are today. And I mean by, allowing them to be this mass, really, what are we down to? A couple of really, how many grocery stores have we really got? You got Kroger, you got Walmart, of course, the Albertson Safeway, hedge fund owned Albertson Safeway. There's so few now, man, and all the rest of it, they just slowly go out of business. And they act like they're being great citizens. By the way, I got bad news for you, 1.5 million workers. You know what, Walmart, the next biggest thing they're going to spend money on. Right? Not the raises, right? Not that. The next thing the biggest amount of money that I saw in their report, and I'm just trying to skim through it here. After the $20 billion of stock buyback, automation. And this is kind of the problem, right? We talk about cows being an endangered species. The next endangered species is going to be all of the, I'll call them the frontline non-healthcare worker. Your days are numbered, right? The cashiers, your days are numbered, right? You know what they're going to have? Probably the guy that shops for you, right? That picks the items off the shelf. And you sit in your car and they bring it out to you. They got to have that guy. Listen, and it won't be long. They're going to figure out a way for the robot to do that as well. Already at the Walmart near my house, they've got this robot that cleans the floors. Just driving around, beeping at everything. And just, get rid of the guy that pushed the broom. Yeah, he's out. You're out. So that was the news. And, of course, Walmart is worried really about a slowdown in sales as the stimulus runs out. And the biggest news and why their stock was down, 2022, they're really worried it's going to be a big decline because at that point, at least Walmart is anticipating the government checks are going to come to an end. I wouldn't be so sure. I don't think they ever end now. I saw the Biden administration now is talking about maybe doing something where all the kids get money every month. And, of course, obviously the kids don't get it. Who gets it? The parents. But it's a good way. See, they always love to do that. Oh, it's for the kids. Do you know how many school overrides have passed since I've become a productive member of society like 30 years ago? I can't even tell you. And yet the schools are all still broke. And yet we just passed another one. Red for Ed. Remember Red for Ed? They still don't have any money. Now they're talking about, well, okay, it may be too big of a step to say, hey, we're just going to give 20 million people every month a check, right? That isn't, food stamps. That isn't rental assistance. This is just a please don't go riot check, right? This is a check that'll help them. Hey, we got to make sure you can pay your cable bill because we know how you get if you can't watch TV, right? Got to be able to make sure that you can buy the latest Xbox game, right? Because, if you can't play your video games, oh, yeah, and your cell phone payment. I got to have that. If we can do those three things, right, we'll give you, you still get your food stamps. We'll get you your rental assistance. And then we'll give you the money so you can pay your cable bill, get your video game fix on, right, and pay your cell phone. That may be a little too much for us. So you know what we'll do instead? We'll say we're giving it to the kids. Patriot Radio News Hour. Don't worry, it'll be fine. What could possibly go wrong? 800-951-0592. Funny math coming out of the Biden administration today. So get this. So remember, we gave everyone $600. That was supposed to last January, February, March. According to the Biden administration, the $1,400 that's supposed to be on the, the $1.9 trillion, that's for April, May, June, and July. So, I don't know. I guess $200 a month was enough the first time around, but now it's got to be $350. If you did, divided that over the 4-month period. But so I guess what they're trying to tell us is by the end of July, we're going to need more stimulus. So just be ready for that. And again, I think this isn't going away. And I know, everyone's like, well, why, why isn't gold rallying? Why is silver not rallying? Oh, it is. Believe me, it is. In every market but the paper market, and it'll catch up. It always does. I mean, we've seen this play out a bunch of times because, listen, Wall Street, they're very optimistic that somehow all this debt and all this money we've created isn't going to end up bad. Walmart really hurt their feelings today. Dow's out over 300 points. Because, let's face it, I mean, you think about Walmart saying same-store sales are up 8.5%. That's huge. For a company like Walmart, that's massive. They made all kinds of money. They're buying back 20 billion shares. But you know what they said? Yeah, this isn't going to last. And by 2022, we're going to have a problem. That's pretty much what Walmart said. And you know what? They're right. You know what the problem is? We're still going to have all the debt, just not all the money. And Walmart knows. He's like, these 20 million people that aren't working, most of them aren't going back to work. Those jobs that they had, those jobs are gone. Right? Look at what they're really spending money on. Buying back their shares, automation. That's every company. How about this one? The Biden administration to conduct a review of key U.S. supply chains, including semiconductors, high-capacity batteries, medical supplies, and rare earth metals. We've already done this. Let's see. Let's go through the list. Semiconductors. Don't make any. Right? I mean, any's probably a small exaggeration. They're all imported. They've been for years. How do you know what? You've been part of DC for 50 years. You don't need a review, right? This is just a bunch of things to make it sound good on TV. High-capacity batteries. No. Mm-mm. Maybe there's the Tesla got that battery plant in Nevada. You got to remember, everything that goes into that battery comes from China. Medical supplies. Well, we found that out, didn't we? Right? We had to use the Powers Act to get Ford and General Motors to make some stuff because it's all overseas. And rare earth metals. Really? The only rare earth mine we had, we closed it down because it was killing the planet, allegedly. The assessment will be led by members of Biden's economic and national security teams. Give me a break. The order does not mention China. Of course it does. Because, hey, guess what? Where do you think all this crap comes from? I don't get it. And again, wasting of our money. Whatever they spent on this thing, right? Whatever they're spending, doesn't need to be spent. We already know the answer. What are you telling me you don't know the answer? Is that what you're saying? Hey, I don't know the answer. Let's look it up. right? I think people were still buying encyclopedias the last time we mined a rare earth metal in this country. I think. You know, we had a semiconductor plant here. It was on Bell Road. A friend of mine actually two buddies of mine used to work there. ST Microsemi. Took up a whole city block. That place is gone now. They tore that building down. You know what we got in there? We got an apartment complex with a Cane's and a Cafe Rio and a Burger King. Yeah. Let's see. We replaced $80,000 to $100,000 a year jobs with $15 an hour. You know. I don't. Again, this is what we always get: a bunch of lip service. The one guy that actually tried to do something, they ran him out of town. But now, don't worry. Joe Biden's going to be tough. We're going to conduct a review, and they're talking about one of the things they talked about lithium, right? Because, those batteries, because you got to remember now, every car company now says, I've seen 2030, 2035, right? Everything's going to be plug your car in. What do you think would happen in Texas right now? I'm just saying. Even if you could get to work, let's just say the power's on at your work, but the power's not on at your house. How are you going to get there? Well, there you have it. Patriot Radio News Hour, final segment on a Thursday. 800-951-0592. Gold's up 5 at 1775. Silver is down about a quarter, 27.10. Crude oil, 61.28. They're saying because of the power outage, 40% of oil's offline right now. Probably not a good. That's not good. So hopefully they'll get that worked out quickly here. The Dow's down about 275 points as Walmart poo-pooed on the Wall Street optimism party, saying that, by the end of 2021 and really going 2022 is not going to be so good. That kind of got a few people's attention. Not everybody yet, but it'll happen. Don't worry. Free checks for everybody, and it'll just be wonderful. We'll have a review of all the things that we know we don't make here. Let's just review it anyway. Climate coaches coming to schools near you. It'll be wonderful. I had a novel idea. Instead of giving Pakistan $100 million for transgender training, which you really, let's face it, do any of us actually believe that's what Pakistan's going to spend the money on? Right? I mean, they're going to take the $100 million, but instead of that, wouldn't we be better off maybe giving that to another country? Of course, I would say do it here, but that's crazy talk. Where we could open a rare earth mine that maybe China doesn't, we're not totally reliant on them. Maybe make these batteries that we're not totally reliant upon them, or medical supplies so we're not totally reliant upon them. Of course, I think the best solution is, hey, let's just do it here. But, that's crazy. We don't want those jobs, right? I mean, I don't know. Logic has left the building in every way, shape, or form out there. And you know it. You're listening. We know. I hate it. And we know we can't just keep handing out money all day long. And there's no end in sight. Now they're saying this 14, that's only to July? 1.9, that only gets us to July, 1.9 trillion? How much more are we going to spend? This is why you put gold and silver away, and I had a question. I want to get to this email, and I apologize. I slipped my mind. I got an email from a customer of ours. He's in the metals plan, and he asked a great question. And he was talking about silver because that's, he's like, you don't have enough to buy gold, but I get silver. If silver hits $100, should I sell? And my answer to everybody is yes. Not all of it. But right now, all of you should be going overweight gold and silver right now. We know prices are going to rise, and they're going to rise a lot. Right? I'm not talking about a couple $100 on gold. I'm not talking about $2 or $3 on silver. But when we see, gold at $5,000, we see silver at $100. Then you want to sell some of it. Not all of it. You got to keep it some of it. But, right now we're going to go overweight when the price goes down, and then you trim it back. So I hope that answered your question. Great question, by the way. Appreciate it. Everybody have a great day. We got a few of everything still left. Call us 800-951-0592.